Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I'm reviewing Horizon Forbidden West for the PS5. I'm going to go over the same five categories I always do: graphics, performance, gameplay slash story, replayability, fun factor. Give each category a score from 1 to 10, average them up, and then talk about the game a little bit. So, Horizon Forbidden West is action RPG, third person, open world game. Um, So we'll start with graphics. Graphics are an easy 10 in this category. It's remarkable what they can do nowadays. It just looks incredible. You'll see a lot of screenshots mixed in with some gameplay. I don't even know what I captured. And it took me a while to beat this game because it's very long. Um, but I'll get to that more in the replayability category. But graphics are 10. Not Not a lot much to say. I mean, everything looks great. The enemy models, the environments, the character models, the hair physics, everything just looks great. Just incredible. The hair I'll talk about in the next category, which is performance. So performance, I almost gave an 8, but I went ahead and gave it a 9. The game is long. It's a if you did everything in this game, it might take you 50 to 70 hours. I'm just guessing. It probably took me 40 hours, and I'll get to more um, of that here in a little bit when I get to the gameplay category. But out of the whole time I played this game, I only had minor issues, and some are just complaints. I mean, nothing really. There's nothing game breaking. Um, so that's why it gets a 9. If there was anything, there was no broken quests, although I didn't do all of them. Um, Everything worked. There was a few weird things like I'd have a few enemy models like go through certain, like for instance, I had two characters walk through a door in a cutscene. Um, just weird little glitches here and there. But this is a huge game, so you got to expect some weird stuff to happen. But overall, very solid experience. It works all the way through. This is the way a game should come out and work. Although I did play like a heavily patched version, not that there was anything wrong with it when it came out. But I'm playing this, I don't know, maybe a year after it came out. So um, anyway, performance of 9. Next category, I'm gonna have the most to say. So gameplay slash story. So the story is pretty good. Um, I really enjoyed Horizon, um, not Forbidden West, Zero Dawn back in the day on the PS4, and I remember I have fond memories of the game. I didn't review games back then, but I liked the game and I would recommend the game to someone. And I don't know if it's just open world games in general or all these games that just have 1,000 quest markers and mini quests every or side quests everywhere you look, just so much stuff to collect. This game suffers from the same thing I think that Ghost of Tsushima did. I liked Ghost of Tsushima, didn't love it. It's a good game. It looks great. It's a well-made game, but it's almost too much content packed in they're big worlds, but it's just like everywhere you look, there's more things to do, more people to talk to. It's like overwhelming. Um, the dialogue trees, you talk to one person, you can talk to them for 15, 20 minutes, and then a lot of work goes into these games, and it's almost like it's almost just a preference nowadays. Like, do I really want to play a game like this? And I'm not sure I do anymore. It's kind of harsh to say. Like, I used to say, like, I like open world games. Like, the last open world game that I loved was like Days Gone. I don't know if it just wasn't overwhelming and side quests and just crazy stuff to do like this game. You go to a city, there's fights you can do. There's like they always have this little mini game in every city, uh, and a lot of games do that. Whether it be like poker and Red Dead Redemption or just it's almost just becoming like cliche now, or the same things, just copy and paste, different worlds, but every city has the same kind of stuff to do. They have you can buy armor, weapons. There's a guy that makes food. There's a guy that you can fight, and then every city has like a tournament to fight in, and you can fight your way through that. But once you've seen like one major city, every other city is gonna have like the same stuff in it. It's just like it's not lazy. It's a well-made game, but I'm just kind of getting tired of that formula. Um, and then this game has a ridiculous amount of stuff to like pick up everywhere. There's branches, there's different bushes, there's dyes, there's different items to upgrade different parts of every armor. You can spend 100, 200 hours in this game. I don't really know. And I guess it's good for some people that are willing to put the time in, but I just didn't love this game enough to want to spend that much time into the game. Uh, a buddy of mine made a pretty good point. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice. That like Red Dead Redemption 2 probably has the most lived-in world. It feels lived in. This one doesn't. A lot of the open world games just don't. They have the same people standing there, and yeah, they'll update their dialogue based on what's going on in the story, and that's interesting. But this is not a game that I'm gonna put a whole lot of time into, like replaying. Uh, Once you've seen the story, you kind of know the story. But anyway, the story is good. It's put together well. It's told well. It's interesting. But the side content is just too much crap. They could have cut more than half. They could have cut 75% of the side quests. Um, it's just too much stuff crammed into this game to me. I think they should focus more on the story, and that's what I ended up doing. I went through the game, and at first I was like gonna do, try to. I'll always go into a game and try to do everything, but I wasn't loving it. I would do like at first I was doing like every side mission, and then I got to a point where I was just doing like two or three main missions, one side mission. It gets to a point where you kind of have to do side missions to be able to beat the main mission because it gets pretty difficult. Not because like the gameplay is difficult, but just because you're like under leveled for what you come upon or across. So that's the story. The gameplay, you're talking to new characters, you're going on the main quest, trying to figure out. I'm not gonna. There's no spoilers in this, by the way, but it's interesting that I loved the first one. I thought it was the coolest idea that like dinosaur um, machines, and it was a really interesting concept where you can take them over, fight them. There's a whole bunch of different, like I said, dinosaur machines to like fight, take over, explore. But you kind of saw it in the first one. I mean, there's new ones and there's really cool ones. There's a lot of work and imagination went into this, but I don't know if it's just this game that I'm just not into, or open world games, or a combination of both. But I did not enjoy the gameplay as much as I did in the first one. I just thought that it's been done, and yeah, they improved on it. This is a better game. The first one, I don't know what I would have reviewed it back then, but higher than this one. I think I'm just kind of over it. It's going to be a long time before I play another open world game. I thought Death Stranding was great. It was just a brand new idea. It wasn't just go to this place, talk to these people, do the same thing in every city, progress the story. Same thing in every city, progress the story. I don't know, man. Hunting in this game is just lame. Like the animals just you like hold your little thing and you can like highlight all the animals. There'll be like pelicans, lobsters. There's like stuff everywhere. It's overpopulated with crap. There's dinosaurs everywhere. It, the animals don't act realistic. I just wasn't impressed, man. So the gameplay slash story, 6.5 because it's combined, which is mediocre. Okay, replayability. Like I always say, I'm pretty hard on this category, but I'm gonna give this one a higher score actually because For me personally, 10 years from now, I may replay this game because it is a well-made game, but it is going to be a long time. But it does have a lot to offer. Like I said, there's crap to do at every single corner. You will never run out of stuff to do in this game. And then there's like New Game Plus that opens. There's just a ridiculous amount of content, too much content in my opinion. But replayability, it has the potential. It's not a bad game. I'm just being kind of harsh on. I had to cut and edit for a second. So replayability, I'm gonna give a 6. Okay, it has a lot of content, and that's why I'm giving it a 6. It's not a terrible game, like I said, but it's just, and it has a bunch of new game plus, a ton of content. So 6. I'll just move on. Fun factor: I did not have a ton of fun with this game, and I think there's a few reasons I've already mentioned why. But I think the game suffers from the same open world formula done too many times. This game is great. It's a better Zero Dawn, but I kind of think it didn't need to happen. Maybe I know it's just I've seen the long neck things. I've climbed on top of them. There are a few new things. You can swim underwater, and I don't want to ruin anything, but there's some cool other aspects of this game. There's some pretty environments. There's some neat stuff to see. But fun factor 6. I just had an okay time with this game. Um, I don't regret playing it. But anyway, just to recap: graphics a 10, performance a 9, gameplay slash story 6.5, replayability 6, fun factor 6. Average that up, that's a 7.5 out of 10. It's a good game. It's nothing terrible wrong with it. Just some notes I wrote. Haptics are great. Of course, it uses the bow and arrow. It's a Sony studio. They utilize the PS5 DualSense controller. There is way too much stuff to pick up in the game. It's distracting. There's stuff at rocks and bushes and just ridiculous. The screen is too much stuff going on in this game. Did not like that. I wrote too busy. Boxes everywhere. It's dumb. Like there's like chests everywhere. And at the end of the game, where there shouldn't be ancient chests, there's chests everywhere. Everywhere you turn, it's just doesn't make sense. It's just kind of corny. I didn't like that design feature. Um, Random glimpses into the past. Oh, like yeah. So sometimes they'll show like hologram videos and I wrote that they would never record or show. You'll see like glimpses into the past that like whoever made this, why would they have made this? It's kind of holes in the story, and that's why I was really hard on the story slash gameplay. Gave it a 6.5. Just wasn't impressed. When I heard Forbidden West going west, there are some cool. Don't get me wrong. There's some cool parts of the story, and the story is told well. The voice acting is great. The music's cool, but I don't know, man. I'm just over games like this. I'm not gonna play a Ghost of Tsushima 2 or a Horizon 3 if they make it, or if I do, I'm getting it when it's $20 in a bargain bin somewhere. I'm just getting tired of these kind of games. Um, right now, anyway, that's how I feel in November of 23. Let's see. The racing is awful. There's a racing thing you can do. It's not done well. It's not fun. I didn't like that. The game that you play that I did mention earlier, it's called Strike, and that is neat. It's almost like a chess-like game. I did like that, although every open world game has some kind of mini game added that the characters play. That's what I'm talking about. There's not enough new stuff in this game to make it game of the year, and I'm not sure what game of the year was um, the year this came out. I'm not even sure when this game came out. I think it was last year. But I would never vote for this game for Game of the Year. Yes, it's beautiful. It's well made. And if this game came out when I was 12 years old during the summertime, I would be going crazy and playing it all the time. But I don't know, man. I'm just wasn't super impressed by this game. And I may just be over open world games for a while. Um, So I got this one out of my system because I wanted to play the VR Horizon Call It the Mountain game. Honestly, I wanted to get this one out of the way. I don't work. Although I've been hard on this game this whole time for 15 minutes, it's a well-made game that I do recommend you play at a discounted price. This is not. They did a lot of hard work, and yes, it's probably worth $70, but I wouldn't pay 70. If somebody asked me what they should pay for this game, $20. You can buy this for less than 20 used. That's what I would do. I would buy this used. Um, but anyway, that's all I've got. That's my review for Horizon Forbidden West. I will not be playing the DLC. um, no way. But anyway, that's all I got. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments below. SirVern out.